Hi, in today's video I'm going to talk about servant leadership in the PMP exam. We are going to see together three sample questions. But first let me explain a little bit more servant leadership. We have seen a lot of tips and tricks for the PMP exam in this video, or here. But today let me talk more about servant leadership. So in order to be servant leader, you should serve your team members in order to improve their competencies. So you need to give your team a training, mentorship, whatever guidance that they need in order to perform their work and in order to follow their career path. So it's not just the benefit of the project, but also the benefit of the team member as a person in their career. So this is very important. The second thing is that you should remove any impediments the team members are facing. This is very important, you should remember, because the project manager, when they attend the stand-up meeting, they should listen carefully in order to remove any impediments and to resolve them. Removing impediments is not just technical. The project manager can encounter administrative impediments. In this case, they should reach out to relevant stakeholders or the upper management and try to resolve them. Next, threats is providing a good work environment. The project manager is responsible for providing such a good environment. Sometimes teams are facing high tension, and the project manager's role in this case is to calm down the tensions and try to increase the collaboration between team members through, for example, team building activities or using emotional intelligence, etc. So this is very important. The project manager is responsible for the well-being of the team and the project environment. So let's move on to the first question. I will let you read the question in a few seconds, then we will go through all the options. Well, as you can see, the project manager is facing a problem, and in order to find the servant leadership option, the project manager should face this problem and try to resolve it. So let's see the first option. A. Ask the team member to raise the issue during the retrospective meeting. We know that the retrospective meeting is a meeting for reflecting on what took place, what happened in the past, and correct ourselves in the future. It's a lessons learned meeting. So it's not a meeting to postpone problems that is happening now and try to resolve them in the future. This is a very wrong answer. Do not confuse problem solving and removing impediments with the retrospective meeting. Next, tell the team member to adjust the acceptance criteria of their pending tasks. So this is not acceptable because the team member should not alter the acceptance criteria without referring back to the product owner. So here the project manager is dealing with the problem with a passive approach. They just wanted to alter the acceptance criteria first, informing the product owner second, which is not correct. If we are going to change the acceptance criteria, we should inform the product owner first and then get their approval to do such a change. So this is wrong. Let's move on to the third option, C. Explain to the team member that they cannot access the whole code due to security restrictions. Here, it's a passive approach as well. The project manager did not take any step further to resolve the problem. They just accepted the problem and informed the team member that they cannot do their job. So they are not removing impediments here. This option is also not a good approach, not a servant leader approach. D is reach out to the appropriate stakeholder. We can see that there is an action, there is a step here, reach out to the appropriate stakeholder and either confirm or update the team member's privilege. The correct answer is answer D. Let's move on to the second question. I will let you read the question in a few more seconds. Again, the project manager here is facing a problem, and the problem here is that the team cannot complete this sprint, and this is a very common problem actually. So what the project manager should do: request an urgent meeting and inform them to work overtime. When you reach overtime here, you should stop. This is a wrong answer. The project manager or a servant leader should not inform or request from their team to work overtime or to not taking their requested leaves. So any option that entails doing extra work is usually wrong. A servant leader tries to create a good work-life balance and try to protect the environment of the project team so they can work in a very comfortable way. So A is wrong. B, sending an email to the team informing them of the situation and encouraging them to do more effort. The second part is fine. Encouraging them to do more effort is fine. But sending an email entails that the project manager is using a formal communication method. And in this case, it's not recommended that you use a formal way of communication, because as if you are exerting a power or putting your team in pressure in a formal way, it's not a recommended option. Let's move on to the third option: wait for the next stand-up meeting to find out the reason behind the team's slow pace. This is very good option because you are just waiting for the stand-up meeting to hear from everybody and to find out if there is an impediment. And this is good actually. You are taking a step further to investigate why they are left behind. This is a good approach by the project manager, and this should be a right answer. But let's see D to verify that C is the best answer here. Wait until the next retrospective meeting. Again, we have seen that in the previous question that retrospective meeting should not be used to resolve problems encountered during the sprint. So keep that in mind. It's very important. So D is wrong. The best answer here is C. Let's move on to question 3. Few seconds to read the question, then we will explain it further. Again, with this question, we have a problem and the servant leader should resolve it. The problem here is that team members are not familiar with the Kanban framework, and option A says that the project manager should refrain from using it. Do you think it makes sense? Absolutely not. So try to find a solution to a problem rather than just withdrawing and escaping from problems. Here we have seen that the Kanban is the ideal framework to use in this project. So try to find a way to make it happen. If you don't find a good way to make it happen, then at last resort, you just don't use it. But first, you should find a solution. B explains Kanban is solution, but during the first iteration planning meeting, it's too late. So this makes answer B suspicious. Let's move on to C. Assign training sessions for the team. to learn about Kanban in practice, this is a very good answer because you are giving training to your team and you are giving them ahead of time rather than giving a training or explaining the approach or the framework just on time. D, ask team members to learn Kanban using their own means. Absolutely, this option is less pertinent than option C. So option C is more logical, more relevant, and option C is correct here. As you can see, the project manager who adopts the servant leadership should take action to resolve problems, not escaping from problems, not transferring problems. They should face them, try to resolve impediments, and try to be proactive and provide training to their team. This is very important. Keep that in mind. If you have any questions about servant leadership style, let me know in a comment in this video and see you in the next video.